And welcome to This Just In, a fast hour around the world of sports and how I see it. Let's recap one of the games from Thursday night footballs. I said Tuesday night football. I can't get used to it. Tuesday night football, Seahawks Rams. Look, Cooper Kupp posted his third straight game of at least 100 yards and a touchdown in a win over Seattle. He's the only receiver to have such a streak this season. He's now done it twice. Trailing by a touchdown with less than 4 minutes remaining. A Russell Wilson pass on fourth down intended for DJ Dallas was broken up by Ernest Jones, even though he never turned around toward the ball, but there was no PI called. The Rams, meantime, are now one win from clinching a playoff berth, which would be their fourth in 5 seasons under Sean McVay. Prior to his arrival in L.A., they'd missed the playoffs in 12 straight seasons, the longest drought in Rams franchise history. Despite having the same number of wins and splitting their 2 regular season matchups, the Rams find themselves behind the Cardinals atop the NFC West standings. This by virtue of Arizona having a better record in division games. NFL insider Kimberly Martin and NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck with me. Let me start with you, Tim. Who is the most dangerous team in the NFC West right now?
I think it ends up being the Arizona Cardinals. I think there's a lot about the Cardinals to like. And, part of the reason I would say dangerous is that when you look at them, the quarterback ends up being so hard to defend. And so, when you define dangerous, I guess I look at the quarterback position as somebody who you could have the perfect defensive call against. And you could have somebody get home free, but still not be able to get the quarterback down. And I think that's why, Arizona ends up being a really dangerous team for anybody that faces them, towards the end of the regular season or into the postseason.
Kimberly, what about you? I think that's a good point about Kyler Murray, but what about you? Who's the most dangerous team? Is he right?
Well, I will never say that Tim is wrong, but I actually think the answer is the Rams. Just when you look at that roster. They should be. The answer should be the Rams because they have an all-star team. That was the whole point, throwing all their chips into the middle of the table. You have Cooper Kupp, who you just talked about. He literally is an MVP candidate. We know it's going to go to a quarterback, but the numbers he's putting up, it's MVP-type stuff. And that alone, this is a Rams team. You don't want to face them if they all play well.
Well, you both, I like the Kyler Murray point a lot, and the Rams might be the best team, but if you're talking about the most dangerous team, we're not talking about the season in its entirety. Tim, of course, you understand. It's like, who's the hottest team? Who's the healthiest and the hottest at down the stretch run? Who can carry that momentum into the playoffs if they make it? The San Francisco 49ers. I know they had a little hiccup against Seattle not that long ago, but otherwise, they've been really good on both sides of the ball. The Trent Williams back, and they got that line solidified, and Jimmy Garoppolo looks good again. Once again, I will mention it. He wins 3 games for every game he loses for a team that loses 3 games for every game they win without him, right? That's not an accident, is it? Am I crazy about the Niners, Tim?
I don't think you're crazy about the Niners. I think one of the things to kind of bolster your point about Garoppolo, I think this is a different time of year for Garoppolo, in terms of a different feeling this time of year than it was earlier in the year. Think about it. Beginning of the year, it was all about when is he going to get replaced? Looking over his shoulder. Because of the way the season has panned out, I think Garoppolo is playing his best football. I think a lot of that has to do with not having to look over his shoulder. He's going to be the quarterback the rest of the way. And so I think that playing with that type of confidence right now has helped him quite a bit. And then on top of that, Kittle's healthy. They're using Deebo Samuel in an interesting way. So it just kind of seems like, hey, now's the time to get the best out of Jimmy G, and it seems like that's happening.
Kimberly, what are you hearing about the Niners? What do you think about them?
So the Niners were actually the team heading into the season that I felt really good about. Because they got Trey Lance, they have Jimmy G. No matter what you say about Jimmy Garoppolo, the guy wins games. He really does. He really does. So as much as they went and got a new quarterback, I think the confidence that team has, despite injuries that they've had, Raheem Mostert, there are just so many guys that miss time I agree with you, Max. This is a good 49ers team. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, Jimmy G is like, we were talking about this about Tom Brady recently. What does Tom Brady do better than anyone ever, right? Like, if he's to go, what is it? Well, he makes the best decisions the fastest. Mm-hmm. Right? That's it. Jimmy G is kind of one of those guys. He makes really good decisions really quickly when he's going well. I think he's going well. All right, so.